What's up, gang? Welcome and welcome back to this channel. Today we are drying the hair. Whether I am air drying, diffusing, or sitting under the hooded dryer, I have to get my AirPods. I love the comments and love I've been getting on this channel lately. I want to definitely start answering questions that I'm getting. Today I'm going to be answering, can you do a tutorial on how you get this hair shape / wash and go so cute? Shout out to you. I have a lot of videos and a lot more videos to come about wash and goes. I love a good wash and go. Today I want to focus on the shape part of the question. A lot of shaping goes on when I'm drying my hair. Other factors do go into how your shape is going to turn out. A huge one being how your hair is cut. It can only shape to another shape so much, so keep that in mind, and also how you're applying your products too, but that can be another video. I just want to focus on how I diffuse my hair. And if you're wondering what am I staring at, because I would be wondering the same thing, I'm watching the Oval on BET Plus right now. This is my very faithful hair dryer that I've been using for years. I got it from CVS. The settings that I like to use, which is on most blow dryers, you really don't need a special one, is low and warm. I just feel like that gets the job done without using too much heat, too much electricity, too much air. Using the diffuser attachment, it helps disperse the air so there's not a whole bunch of air blowing in one direction, creating a whole lot of frizz. So this piece is very curly friendly. And during this first part of my drying session, I'm just really gentle with my curls. I have really thick hair, so I like to go underneath my hair and really make sure that my roots are drying, because that's what's going to take forever. And usually girls with looser curl patterns like to do this, where they scrunch their hair or do that up and down motion. If you want a lot of volume, go ahead and do it. I like volume, but I don't like crazy volume, so I don't dry my hair that way. I really try to have the air just blowing down, or just like from the side. As you can see, at first I'm not touching it a whole lot, but as it dries I start to flip my hair back and forth, because as it dries the gel is going to get harder, crunchier. I don't think crunch is a bad thing, because you always can get rid of it. So to keep that movement, I like to just throw my hair kind of back and forth and really move the hair with that diffuser piece. And like I said, my roots is where I focus, because that's where all the water is staying, okay? I've never dried my hair like completely dry by a blow dryer all in one session. Usually my hair is not going to be 100% dry until the next day. I will dry it about 80 to 90% dry, if that even really makes sense. My goal is to not have a glob of product somewhere, or I'm able to lay down and not feel water running through my bonnet. By this time it's like evening, or I'm like going to bedtime is soon, okay? When I lay down, I don't want to feel like wet hair. The shape that I try to achieve is elongation. I like to keep my length. I like to see my layers. My hair is cut in layers. Wait, let's run that back. A shape. What shape is my hair? I have no idea. My goal when shaping is to have length towards the back. It's shorter towards the front. Now, my drying sessions are kind of in two parts. Like I said, my hair is not going to be 100% dry. It doesn't really matter if it shrinks, because we're going to stretch it tomorrow when it is dry. I don't like to stretch it while it's wet, because once you stretch it and it's still wet afterwards, it's just gonna dry and shrink back up. My only goals for right now is to keep this definition. I just want it to be dry enough to sleep on, so the next day I can go back in and actually stretch and shape it to how I desire my wash and goes to look. There is a couple of ways I can try to get it all dry in one day. Like if I have to go somewhere on wash day, I will either use less products or I will just increase my drying time. But the next part kinda is the same regardless of what I do. But if I am going to wait until the next day to do it, I will just put it in a pineapple to sleep in, which is what I'm gonna show you in a second. But as you can see, I'm still drying my hair. It took me like 20 minutes. I started at like 3:11. I think it felt way longer than that. I had to go get a stool to go sit down because I was getting tired. But you can see my hair is getting a little bit bigger, and the bigger it gets, that means it's drying. And as it gets drier, I feel more comfortable touching it. I like to do like the praying hands kind of thing with the diffuser piece, just to kind of stretch it out a little bit, but like I said, when you stretch it when it's wet, it's not really gonna do much. And at this point, my shape is giving square because my roots are definitely still wet. They're still being weighed down by water and product. I'm done blow drying for today. I'm tired, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and put this up in a pineapple. Again, my hair is not soaking wet. I wouldn't do this if my hair was soaking wet. That's just because it's uncomfortable to me. I feel like the pineapple is the best way to preserve your curls and also give you some stretch in the back. So this is the next day. Why is it so dark? Oh wait, is this nighttime? Oh, okay. You know what I did? This is what I did. I think I had to go wash my little sister's hair and I didn't put my scarf on. So I just had it in a pineapple and now it's like later in the day and I'm putting my scarf on and then I'm gonna come back in the morning. Okay, for real, this time we're back. It's the next day and one of my nails broke. Sad face. So this is what my hair is looking like. It is giving a little bit of stiff, okay, because that's what the gel does. But we're gonna fix all of that. And this is when it really gets into the shaping part. If you stayed this long, I appreciate you. The curls look bomb. The wash and go combo that I used was Melanin Haircare, their leave-in conditioner, their twisting elongation styling cream, and Aunt Jackie's flaxseed gel. It'll do it every time for me, okay? Basically, I'm gonna just go straight into stretching it, but my roots are definitely still wet, like where I'm rubbing it right there. And I know I said trying to stretch it while it's wet, it just doesn't make sense. But at this point, we don't have a choice. So the goal is to get it to dry it, to make sure that it is dry when I'm done stretching it, because if it's still wet, then it's just gonna dry and shrink back up. I switch out that diffuser piece on my dryer and use the concentration nozzle, I feel like is what it's called, but it's probably not. And I like to section my hair because this way I can really get to my roots and make sure that they're dry. And this is also how I stretch my hair. Even if they were dried, I would still stretch my hair this way in sections. Some of my stretching tips for you, or I guess not even tips, just what I do. I know people have asked me, do I use a heat protectant when I stretch my hair? I never have, and I probably never will. Actually, let me not say that, because I actually seen something on Instagram I think I want to try, and it's kind of like a heat protectant. But anyways, I don't detect any heat damage from doing this. I feel like heat damage comes from like extreme, consistent, direct heat, and this is something that I do once a week. I don't stretch my hair more than once I wash it. I like to grab this section and hold the ends and really just focus on the roots. I'll probably go up and down just a little bit, but really stretching out the roots because I like to keep my definition, and towards the ends is where you're going to see that definition. Another thing I do when I'm in the back sections like this is where I usually stretch the most and where I use my hair dryer the most, because this is where I like to show the length of my hair. So I also do smaller sections back here, just really take my time stretching these sections. As I move towards the front of my hair, I do like a little bit of volume. I mean, with hair like this, you're automatically gonna get some volume anyways. But as I move towards the front, my sections get bigger, and I don't stretch these sections as long as the section that I just showed you that's towards the back. Also, when trying to divide up your sections, I don't use a comb. I wouldn't recommend using a comb. Just use your fingers and be as gentle as you possibly can and try to section it off where it feels natural. This section is way bigger because I want to keep some more of that volume as I get towards the front. And this also really shows off my layers as well, because if I'm not stretching it as long as what's underneath it, then it's going to be shorter and it's going to give you that layered look. I'm just realizing that I kind of just separated it into 3 sections, because like once I get to the top right here, I don't really do much. As you see, I'm just kind of fluffing it out, and I do have like this little lump at the top of my head that I like to straighten out. So I'll just grab the whole section like this and stretch it out just a little bit. because this is where a lot of definition is showing too, so I don't want to stretch it out too much and lose a lot of that definition that's on top. You feel me? And thank you, shout out to the girlies that stayed until the end. I just want to, I have a few more points though about shape. So I just showed you literally frame by frame, instruction by instruction, what I do for my shape, but there are some things to keep in mind. Low key, my hair looks different every time I do it. Like it generally looks the same, but it's not going to look the exact same every single time. And that's just natural hair for you. Another thing about natural hair, your shape is gonna look different from my shape. You can do everything I just told you, but somehow, some way, your hair gonna find its own thing to do. And we should embrace that about our natural hair. I know when I would watch natural hair girls, when I was first trying to, you know, embrace the curls, I would be like, oh dang, like it has to look just like that. How does she get that shape? How does she get her curl pattern like that? It's kind of good to be like, okay, they gave me some type of instruction that I can follow, some type of guide, but at some point I had to just embrace, you know what, this is what my hair looks like, and I just need to rock how my hair looks. There's so much you can do, so much you can change. At some point you have to be like, oh, you know what, this is what my hair does, and you just gotta love it. And this is what my hair does, and I love it, and I appreciate y'all loving it and complimenting me and asking me questions. Please keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. I have a lot more videos for y'all, of course. I will see y'all next time I post. Until then, deuces.